Aloha and welcome. My name is Taylor Norris, and I'm a certified quantum soul guidance practitioner and galactic astrology soul reader, as well as a Reiki master teacher. Thank you so much for being here today. In today's video, we will be doing a galactic astrology soul mini reading for Olivia. So I've shared this slide in my other mini readings. So not to repeat myself too much, but very quickly, Galactic Astrology answers and dives into the most fundamental questions of human existence, such as, who am I? Why am I here? Where do I come from? Who and what am I connected to now? Parallel lives, future lives, past lives, the entire soul history brought into the present moment, and clues as to what evolutionary themes the soul is working on in this life. So it's very much applied to this life, but giving a multi-dimensional perspective of the soul that's being read and a deeper understanding of the intentions and the various multidimensional quantum expressions of the soul that are most relevant right now, because this is an infinite amount of information and energy that can be discovered and explored. So it's what is most relevant right now in this moment. That's how we focus the reading. Now, this diagram illustrates the components that make up the full reading, a full quantum soul guidance, galactic astrology soul reading. So we look at the natal astrological chart, the galactic charts, intuition and channeling. I actually do this part first in a full reading. Get the whole story, get the whole download, get what is most relevant, what star alignments are most relevant, because like I said, the information is so vast and we can't talk about all of it in just one reading, let alone one mini reading. So there's so much in the intuition and the channeling I use in a Reiki journey that really helps me tap into the soul records and look at what is highlighting and alive for the person right now. I also include Reiki healing. So whatever is coming up, whatever is needing clearing, releasing, healing, revealing, empowering, that is part of very much a core essential component of the readings that I share with others. It's very important to me that we're not just becoming aware of these things, but we're actually healing and bringing in more solutions and greater growth, greater evolution, and greater empowerment through this knowledge, this self-awareness, this knowing thyself in a very full, comprehensive, broad, and deep, and vast, multidimensional quantum way. So I invite you now to come with me through the portal, through the stargate, looking into this beautiful soul of Olivia. Let's dive right in, swim through quantum space together. Okay, now this is the basic report for Olivia. And this report can be found at galacticastrochart.com, free of charge. Anybody is welcome to put in their birth information, draw up a report just like this, and draw up a report that has even more information on it. This report looks at, in the left-hand column, all the important, the most significant planets and points that we look at in this galactic astrology soul reading, as well as in the middle column, you'll see what signs those planets and points are at the moment of Olivia's birth. And then on the right-hand side, that Starseed Connections column shows all of the strongest alignments for Olivia, the conjunctions and the oppositions, the conjunctions 0 degrees to a planet or a point is right together with that constellation, or opposite, a planet or point is 180 degrees opposite that constellation. So we see in looking at Olivia's report here that she is most certainly a multi-galactic soul. This is a loaded star seed chart. We're talking about every single line filled except Neptune, Ascendant, and Sun. So very well connected. And I'm sure that the Neptune, Ascendant, and Sun probably have trines and sextiles and squares and some other aspects going on. So very, very multi-galactic soul. We see soul connections starting at the bottom. Hydra, Leo, Reticulum, the Galactic, Hyades, Taurus, Scorpius, Cassiopeia, Orion, Auriga, Ophiuchus. We see a repeat, Hyades, Taurus, Scorpius. Okay, this one's strong. We see Eridanus, Lyra. We see a repeat of Orion. We see Galactic repeating even more, a repeat of Cassiopeia. Another Orion. We see Andromeda, more Galactic, and again Taurus, Scorpius. So some really powerful alignments here. There's many of them, and then there's many of the same. So we're seeing different patterns emerge. So looking at this, it looks like Hyades, Taurus, Scorpius, Galactic are all repeating. Orion is repeating, as well as that Andromeda repeating, because it is linked in with the North Node and the South Node, and that's an axis that we'll talk about later on here. So Olivia, you are most certainly a starseed. There's no question about it. Okay, now looking at Olivia's natal chart, just some very basic baby steps, kindergarten steps, looking at the astrological chart, we see that Olivia is 18 degrees, 29 minutes of Virgo rising. And this is so, I was like, not surprised to see that, honestly. Because I know Olivia is very much into perfecting and sculpting the body, bringing health and wellness to the body, as well as energy healing and acting as a healing guide for others, both on that physical level, but also on a deeper, more spiritual level as well. So really beautiful expression of that Virgo rising energy. Virgo is mutable earth, so literally shaping and molding and sculpting the form of the earth. Just gorgeous. Olivia's sun is up there, happy in the ninth house. That's a happy sun, happy place to be. Sun in Taurus. Taurus is fixed earth. Taurus is grounded. Taurus loves comfort and nurturing and having some nice possessions, feeling like resourceful. And in the ninth house, this is very, very expansive energy. This almost has like a Venus, Jupiter energy to it. So Olivia is a soul that really shines connecting with others internationally, traveling, exploring metaphysical ideas, expanding her consciousness. So this is not necessarily a typical Taurus thing. And what's really cool is that with that Taurus sun energy, there's a way to really ground this and make it practical. Again, with that Virgo rising, this is very practical and pragmatic earth energy. So this is someone who loves exploring the metaphysical topics, but is really interested in, how do I apply this? How do I make this practical? How do I ground this down? Beautiful combination. And then with the Gemini moon in the 9th house, I hear you, sister. I have a Gemini moon too. This is the eternal youth, the eternal learner, the eternal student needing to collect information. In the 9th house, this is higher learning. Again, traveling, loving to travel, loving to connect to others, loving to talk, loving, this could even be social media, like regular exchange with people, being in contact with people all over the world. This is, a joy and a soothing of learning about those metaphysical topics, talking about those metaphysical topics, expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness. And we'll talk more about that moon, but that's a very powerful moon there we'll get to in just a moment. So looking now above me, I've included the aspect table as well as those elements. So we'll look at the elements first. And in the element table, we can see that Olivia has all of the elements covered. If anything, water would be kind of the weakest element, but we do see Pluto and Jupiter there. And we also see that Olivia has placements. She has lots of placements in that 4th house, which would, with the natural zodiac, the natural horoscope, would be a watery Cancerian house. She's got planets she's got the node and Mercury in the 8th house. Again, this is a watery house. So there's some water there, even though, it may look like just Pluto and Jupiter are actually in water element signs. She's got a wonderful strength in earth. She's got strength in air. This is someone, again, who is very intelligent and yet very practical and pragmatic. How do we apply what we learn, what we talk about, all the information we're receiving, all the communication, the relationship energies, and how do we really ground this and make this practical and build something real with it? And she's got some fire as well. So this speaks to those passions, the inspirations, and that real zest and energy for life. She's got energies of all the modalities too, pretty balanced. If anything, looks like they're all very strong. Cardinal strong, fixed is strong, mutable is strong. Mutable looks like it's probably the strongest. So there's a need to change, a lot of change, a lot of flexibility, a lot of adaptability in this soul. This can result in a bit of a scattered energy effect, or always needing to close out, complete things. So you can watch that tendency, but I'm sure with those other strengths in the cardinal and the fixed, this is something, you're either aware of or you're just naturally managing yourself in this way. Now looking, I was very intrigued by the powerful quintiles and biquintiles we see in the aspect table. I always like to look at these, as these are evolutionary flows of energy. The quintile is a 72-degree aspect. The biquintile is twice that. It's a 144-degree aspect. Now, these are evolutionary flows of energy. These aren't just naturally gonna be there. This is something that we more consciously engage with and interact with. These are magical, creative talents and abilities that we have the opportunity to cultivate consciously. And so Olivia has very powerful biquintile and quintile alignments with Pluto working with her moon, and Pluto also working with her Mars. This is very powerful, deep, intuitive with that moon energy. And with Mars, it's It's unstoppable. You know, this is a very strong will. This is like my soul commands my body and I do it. Soul is the one operating the physicality. And so we also see very powerful biquintile and quintile, or two biquintiles involving Chiron, the wounded healer, this healer energy. These are the places and spaces where we have been wounded deeply. And we find that medicine to heal ourselves. We find tools and resources and ways to really alchemize that wound into something that it ultimately becomes empowering, can actually be a good example and healing, guiding light to others. So Chiron is biquintile again, that Mars, girl, your Mars. Your Mars is so powerful with these biquintiles. There is an opportunity to really understand healing the body, healing one's will, healing one's drive and one's ambition, and aligning one's will and one's drive and one's ambition and one's passion with this path of healing both self and others. And Chiron's also biquintile Pluto again. So we're looking at soul level healing that is happening for you at a personal level and is going to, if not already, is impacting your work with others, your energy work, capacities. There is a very strong potential for that being a very incredible soul talent that you're cultivating in this life. So I definitely encourage you to keep going with that and developing your intuition, your psychic senses, all of these things, your Reiki, your energy work. You're really on the right track there. All right, Gemini Moon, I'm trusting that you can handle this much information and that our viewers will be interested as well. I really loaded up this slide and the next slide. So don't worry, let's take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale, and we'll go through all of this. So what is this mess? All of this information, well, it's generally about Olivia's soul origin, which is overlapping with her soul purpose. How cool is that? Double alignments. It's not even double alignments. We're looking at like a triple, quadruple alignment right here. So let us look at that bottom left-hand arrow, big purple arrow, bottom left-hand side of her astrological chart. We see circled there, Shap. Okay, now that's the Shapley Attractor, is right there, conjunct on the left, the south node of the moon, and on the right, Pluto. They're all together. Now, when we look at soul origin from a purely galactic astrology level, we look at Pluto, the most outermost dwarf planet, the most consensus, okay, this is the edge of our solar system. It's really just an edge. It's not the edge because there's way more past Pluto. It's incredible. But for our purposes here, Pluto is conjunct the Shapley Attractor. This is deep past. This is a soul origin signature. This is one of those first humanoid type incarnations in this part of the universe. So in Milky Way galaxy neighborhood area. Okay. And we also see that her south node of the moon is conjunct Shapley. Now, the south node talks about past lives as well. This would be a highly relevant past life energy that Olivia is consciously transforming in this life. She is here to alchemize this south node into an even higher expression and move in the direction of the north node. So what does this mean with both Pluto and south node conjunct Shapley? It means that Shapley is very important for Olivia. It also means that the soul origin intentions for her incarnation, her soul's intention to come into this part of the galaxy, is very present in her intention to incarnate as a human on Earth as Olivia right now. So, wow, what you're doing here now has everything to do with that original intention to become a humanoid consciousness in this area of the Milky Way. Profound. Now, I talked about Shapley in the previous video. Okay, friends, all the people who are wanting readings from me, it seems like lately, have these Shapley alignments, and this is really cool. So Shapley is a massive gravitational force exponentially greater than the Great Attractor. If you look at the diagram right next to me on the left, you can see the Earth is a tiny little black dot there. You can barely see it. And then the sun is like huge to us. It's massive. And then there's the galactic center, the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Absolutely massive and powerful. It's spinning all of those arms of the Milky Way. We go out one more time, the super galactic center. Again, a super massive black hole that makes the galactic center look like a basketball. Like, not big at all. Super galactic center. Our galaxy, Milky Way, and like 30 other galaxies are all rotating around the super galactic center. Then beyond that, we have the Great Attractor. You can also see the Great Attractor in the diagram above me, and it's pulling in a super cluster of galaxies called Laniakea, cool Hawaiian word there, which is a super cluster of numerous galaxies. So Great Attractor makes super galactic center look like it's a soccer ball, okay? Not a big deal. Then we have Shapley, okay? Shapley's pulling in all of that and more, okay? And we don't even know what it is. We don't know really what the Great Attractor is. It's the cosmic anomaly. Shapley Attractor, same thing. Cosmic anomaly, maybe a series of black holes, maybe something else. We're not really sure. However, it is extremely powerful. It's grouping together the largest known concentration of galaxies in our universe that we've found at this point. And it's influenced by this opposing force, the dipole repeller, which is great because everything in the multiverse is perfectly balanced according to cosmic and galactic, universal, multidimensional laws. It's just so organized and divinely ordered like that. So Shapley is massive and is so powerful. And these alignments, okay, for your soul, astrologically, it's really not looking like you're from here. Okay. Astrologically, it's looking like your soul came from a different galaxy, came from a very far reaches of the universe. What I'm seeing when I read for people with strong Shapley alignments is that they have been everywhere. They have parallel soul aspects that are everywhere. There is a very deep, powerful force guiding you, propelling you. This is a powerful soul group that you're a part of. This is a very strong energy of transmutation, this dual nature of creator destroyer. There will be many themes of that in your life, relationships being very important themes because we have this 2956 degree Libra South Node, and then the Shapley and the Pluto are in Scorpio, and both Libra and Scorpio are relational signs. These are signs that are really looking at relationships, transforming and alchemizing from that sacred union with others, transforming partnerships. And with these all together, you're really being propelled across the chart there. Okay. This like second house energies here of South Node Shapley Pluto are gonna feel like home and more the comfort zone. So second house is all about like I'm on my own. I'm powerful and comfortable with my possessions, powerful and comfortable with my relationships and, my soul unions and twin flames and this kind of thing. And I need to know, but the thing is, it's like, don't be enmeshed, like know thyself in relationship as a clear, separate entity. Find that oneness and union in your spiritual practice and with a partner that has their own spiritual practice and connection so that it really can be this divine union type energy. Thing is, your soul has these intentions of going towards that north node, which we see directly opposite in the 8th house. Now, this is interesting because it's at that last degree of Aries, and there are alignments to it that I'm not going to talk about here, to Andromeda. So there's a lot more depth we can go into. There's an alignment to the north node, Mirak star, and Andromeda, and that we see that Mercury in Taurus is also conjunct that north node. So that north node in the 8th house is saying, okay, yes, divine union is part of the picture, going into the mysteries of life and death and resurrection, mediumship, exploring these mysteries of existence and the esoteric and the occult and all these things that I know you're peeking into more and more, that you really should go there. Thing is, you're doing a very relationship type of house, but in an Aries way here. So there's a real need to know thyself, be in your personal power, be very individuated, be very clear and direct in who you are. And to be that way when you're coming into that sacred union, that sacred relationship, a marriage or a twin flame type relationship with others, there's a real need to be very clear as to who you are. And then you'll be able to call in that partnership that you're really desiring. And with Mercury there, all things Mercury will be very important to the manifestation of that north node, which hints at your soul growth in this life, the evolutionary growth, the soul intentions for this life. Again, we're going to move on because I'm going to keep this just a mini reading, but there's a lot more depth we can go here in just exploring this. I haven't even really tuned in psychically about this. This is just looking at the astrology. You can see there's a lot here. All right, my dear. So moving right along, we see another busy slide with so much information. Venus is transiting Gemini right now, so information overload. We'll take this one step at a time once again. So I will again direct you to the bottom left-hand corner of the astrological chart. And we see that Saturn is in Sagittarius, conjunct royal star Antares. Antares is associated with Archangel Uriel, which I have right there. Beautiful oracle card by Stuart Pearce. Love his Angels of Atlantis cards. And Uriel is Watcher of the West, linked to the element of water and the gold ray. So this is an energy that's happening in your 3rd house of your mind, your communication, your lower schooling, your early education, your more lower mind, okay? Your daily thoughts, your mindset, having Saturn here. This is inner authority aligned with royal star Antares. So this is really strong. In childhood, there were likely some challenges. Okay, this is probably not easy energy to be working with. There could have been problems with authority, male authorities, father type figures, some challenges in early schooling. But what this is really bringing about is this evolution of your soul into becoming this stargate, this portal, this activator of higher awareness for others. So having your own ascension and transformation, spiritual awakening process and facilitating that process for others. So whatever challenges you worked with in your childhood, or maybe you did really well in school and you developed a lot of authority for yourself, or maybe those challenges you might have had with authority, you're like, this system is like, what? I want to reform it and reshape it. And those conflicts with authority could have really, propelled you on this launch of on this quest of what is my truth? What is my inner authority? What is my soul song? So it's really important for you to develop your ability to understand very complex topics. There's a natural ability to do so. Please ignore that typo there. I'm not liking that. Virgo rising, I know you already noticed that. There's an opportunity to really think strategically with this Antares alignment to see many steps ahead for any task. So this can be good planning, organizing, especially, having a strong foundation. This is not far off your IC, your roots, the foundation of your chart. So really developing a strong mind and planning, achieving long-term goals. So not just like flittering thoughts, but actually, what is the step-by-step process I'm going to take for this really important manifestation I'm creating from thought into form? Now, when we have Antares alignments, we also have the Aldebaran alignment, and you got a party up there in the ninth house. So we'll look at the top right corner. We see the moon as well as Black Moon Lilith. I didn't even put that there in terms of the galactic report, but Black Moon Lilith and moon are conjunct Aldebaran. Now, Aldebaran is another royal star of Persia linked to Archangel Michael, Watcher of the East, Earth element, and the blue ray. And you see next to that, so up in that corner there, is the Archangel Michael card. It's one of, in these decks by Stuart Pearce, he has multiple of each angel, but it was really synchronistic. This morning I pulled both of these cards. So they were just on my altar. And so it was funny. I looked at this chart and I was like, oh, they're already here. So this is the Archangel Michael card I'm going to be sharing, and the Archangel Uriel card I'm sharing, but there are others. So Michael appears as a purple orb. Many see him as blue. I worked with him as blue energy for a very long time. Worked with him very intimately in my Reiki work for protection. He's a wonderful protector energy, but he's also a very empowering leadership energy. This is like spiritual warrior. I'm sensing that from you, that there is some spiritual warrior energy within your soul very strongly. Alignments with Aldebaran often will indicate in the soul records royal bloodline connections at a soul DNA level, a human DNA level, linked to the Abrahamic lineage, King David, King Solomon, the royalty of Mesopotamia, the ancient gods there, the Anunnaki, as well as Mesopotamia, Sumeria, later in the time of Jesus and the Essenes. So past life connections there. And it's really, really important with these alignments to heal ancestral wounds, okay? Especially because it's moon there. Moon can be mother. So healing ancestral wounds, particularly the mother lineage. But since it's also opposite Saturn, I'm getting this strong like father energy as well. So doing your ancestral work on both sides of your human family will be very important. And as you do this more and more in your work with others, you will be automatically, your energy field will be supporting others in that ancestral healing work. And perhaps it'll be something that you're actually guided to do, as a service in your work. So there's an opportunity here with this Aldebaran Archangel Michael energy to embody divine leadership. I mean, especially in the ninth house and with the moon. So very intuitive, divine leadership, higher consciousness leadership, metaphysical leadership, reaching a more international audience, traveling and being a divine leader in a more traveling capacity. And this is also online because it's Gemini. Okay. So there could be a social media, a very online based divine leadership quality, really linking in with that nurturing energy and that intuitive energy. So you can really become this compassionate guide to help others awaken the divinity within themselves. So very, very strong Aldebaran and Antares royal star energies. Again, I'm just speaking more generally to these energies, but there's a lot more that can be uncovered when really connecting psychically and intuitively to the soul records and looking into these alignments in greater depth in a full reading. I'm just giving everybody a taster here with this information. And again, the cards are from Stuart Pearce's deck. And that beautiful diagram is from the Starseed teachable.com course, the course where I became certified as a quantum soul guidance practitioner, Julia Balaz's course. Great infographic there showing us the 4 directions and the 4 royal stars. All right, friends, thank you so much, soul family, for being here. This is my mini reading for Olivia. As I said, she's a multi-galactic soul, so much more we could go into for a reading. And for those of you who are interested in booking a reading, they are 40% off for the first several more bookings. So definitely go to my website, see if that 40% off offer is still there, and grab that discount while it's there, because it is only going to be available to so many of you who book and are excited about receiving this type of reading. It's my pleasure spending time with you today. Thank you for your attention, your presence, and all of your love and support. Much love to you. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Mahalo.